Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Unfortunately, as expected, Peter Szijjártó, the good foreign minister of the country of Hungary, intelligent, ballsy, and very well versed in dealing with Western weasels, he got death threats in Ukrainian. Not surprising, my issue is this. If you do something major, you're going to have an opposition and you're going to have enemies. That goes without saying. And especially when you stand up for something. And I think he stands up for his country. This is the issue. I claimed many times that the Ukrainians, they have a black market. There's a black market anywhere on this planet. Maybe in North Korea, but even though over there I'm guaranteeing you there are the officials who have their little black market, as it was in Romania as well. Even if it's a dictatorship, they have their own black market, which the population doesn't know about, or they can't do squat. So what's going on here? The Ukrainians have a weapons black market. Those weapons that are unaccounted for, even though these guys are telling us, yeah, we keep an eye. No, they just wanted to start, I think they started an kind of an inspection audit after 2 years of the weapons that were sent by the American people to the Ukrainian people. So there's a black market, and those weapons, as I said many times, will end up in the hands of organized crime. And not only in the hands of certain, even if not organized crime at this point, there will be oligarchs, people with power, people that will need weapons to defend themselves against others, which could be the government, could be NATO, could be the Russians, could be interlopes, the guys from the neighborhood, they want to destroy them, from the city, from the country, or simply be the aggressors. There are people like that, believe me. Probably you know. Anyway, it was a joke. So here we have the Ukrainians, or at least some, making threats in Ukrainian sent to foreign minister ahead of visit. So Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister of Hungary, that says Ukraine, the Hungary, will visit Ukraine. Now let's see what's going on over here. This article from Ukrainska Pravda, it is from Tuesday, the 23rd of January, 2024. Death threats in Ukrainian allegedly sent to Hungarian foreign minister ahead of future visit. This is Peter Szijjártó, the foreign minister of Hungary. Now, I like that Ukrainska Pravda knows how to be professional and say allegedly. All right? But that's what you are, because it's against you, you put allegedly. If it would be the other way around, let's say it would be certain. If it would be like, let's say, substitute foreign minister, Hungarian foreign minister, well, let's say Ukrainian foreign minister, and not in Ukrainian, but let's say in Russian, or even, no, then you're going to say, oh, it's clear. And it's not going to be allegedly, it's going to be straight there. We believe them. My heart is, which one is it? Right here. If I have one. So again, what I'm concerned with when those guys in Ukraine that will get the weapons, if they're going to have a problem with anybody in the European Union, in Brussels, London, maybe they're going to go even across the Atlantic through the south, maybe in New York, maybe in Washington, D.C., maybe in Berlin, maybe in Paris, when they will have a problem with anybody over there, they can commit crimes. They will have the means, including the fact that the whole Europe, you can cross it from one side to the other. It's not hard to do it, coming from Ukraine. So that's my issue, big issue. Yes, Szijjártó always probably receives these kind of things. Officials receive these kind of things. They're bad things. Yes, they are. But you always going to have crazies. What can you do? Prepare. That's all you can do. So let's see. Death threats were allegedly, again, second time, sent to the embassy of Hungary in Ukraine, targeting Peter Szijjártó, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Hungary, in connection with the upcoming visit to Uzhhorod. The publication citing its own sources. Again, they try to delegitimize the source. First, they said 2 times alleged, which probably is an allegation, and it's the publication citing its own sources. And it means it's like I ask my family, am I not a good man? Yeah, you're a good man, Emil. What do you think I'm gonna say? I'm bad? Yeah, if I, well, because I'm a good person. Reports that the letter was sent to the email of Embassy of Hungary in Ukraine and was written in Ukrainian language. Now, let's start with the obvious. Ukrainian language could be a Ukrainian, so can be a Russian, so can be another guy living somewhere else. Could be the Ukrainians, the office, let's say the SBU, can be a crazy citizen, can be the Russian crazy citizen, can be a French crazy citizen, with a little bit of help, can write such a letter, can be the Russian security forces, then government, can be. You always go with the most probable. As of now, this is the evidence. A Ukrainian written in Ukrainian language. That's what, and doesn't mean that if someone commits a crime, okay, with let's say Colt, must be an American, or nowadays Colt is owned by a Czech business. So it must be a Czech revolver. I'll say, I don't even know what a Smith & Wesson are we still producing that? Hey guys, are we still producing that? Or let's say it's an AK-47, must be a Russian who committed the crime. No, anyone can have that one. Anyone, you know what I mean. So the same here. But you go and attach something else next to it. Well, the Ukrainians don't like the Hungarians ever. They don't are very friendly. Why? Because according to the Hungarians, the Ukrainians have Zakarpattia. Zakarpattia should come to Hungary, and their minority is over there is threatened and all that. Us, the Hungarians, and then obviously the Ukrainians don't like the Hungarians. Not only from now, it's centuries back. It's not. It's a long history. And then you have what? You have the fact that the Hungarians don't give anything to the Ukrainians to fight against the invading hordes of Russians. So they don't like them. So, put this together, you got strike 2. Also, you can use it in many ways. Maybe it's the third party. Maybe it is the American government wants to create problem between these guys even more. You don't know. We're not going to find out anyway, probably. The author of the note expresses that Ukrainians harbor hatred towards the Hungarian government, this is a politician, for allegedly working to ensure that Ukraine loses in the war. The note states that an explosive reception awaits Szijjártó on 29 January and advises preparations for a funeral. The message concludes with, and I'm quoting, God forgives, but Ukrainians do not. Well, it's interesting that for me this is a political thing. Why? Because he or she, this person, the author, let's put it, the author, spoke of hatred towards the Hungarian government. A person of a different kind of level would have said Hungarians, but he said Hungarian government. He was very sophisticated enough, let's put it this way, to make a distinction between the Hungarian people and Hungarian government. Because you usually go like, oh, fucking this, fuck those Hungarians, fuck those Romanians, fuck that, without thinking, oh, wait a second, it's their government. But you say, well, the government was, the president, these guys were elected and they picked their guys. So, like this, it's also our fault, isn't it? Because they work in our behalf. That's democracy. But you see how the governments are working in the behalf of their citizenry. Look at Germany. Look at the United States of America. These guys don't work for us. They work for their guys, their bosses, their interests. So Hungary's State Secretary of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Tamás Menter, stated on his Facebook account that the threat does not deter Peter Szijjártó from representing Hungary's interests. Balls. What is he going to do? Hide? Not show up anymore? And I'm quoting, the Polish Prime Minister attacks Hungary's position, which advocates for peace, with unacceptable statements, while the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Peter Szijjártó, receives death threats. Anyone who thinks that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Hungary will be frightened does not know Peter Szijjártó. I know. Menzer wrote. Now, the meeting of the ministries of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine and Hungary is scheduled for 29th of January in Uzhhorod and aims to prepare for the meeting between Ukrainian Zelensky and Prime Minister, or Hungarian Prime Minister, because he is Hungarian, Viktor Orbán. Now, there was an interview, I watched it, I don't know how many, 10 years ago, maybe more, with Vladimir Putin, the Russian president of the Russian Federation, when he was asked, are you not afraid to be assassinated? Because it was, I think in the video was titled something like Putin escaped 20-some or multiple assassination attempts or something. And he said something like this, and I'm paraphrasing, it was a long time when that occurred. And it's good to look at the attitude of some people, at least whatever they tell you, not necessarily what they do. You know, like you have Winston Churchill showing up in that famous, one of them, pictures with him looking at the rubbles in London after the V2 attacks on London, remember, and Coventry and all that. He came over there as a picture looking at, oh yeah, and said, oh my, look how courageous. Yeah, but you know that he didn't stay in London. He was outside of London. That was his bunker. You know that one? So he was all safe. He just showed up, went back there. Yeah, like remember Stalin when the German Wehrmacht was at gates, enemy at the gates, at Moscow, what, 15 kilometers away from it or something like this, and he shows up in the Red Square over there, that famous, oh, and everybody, oh, he's with us, but he got ready to ready. These guys come in, I'm out. I understand that one, but nevertheless, so one thing what they do and one thing what they say. And I remember Putin said, why should I mean, he said, there's always a possibility that could happen. But should we, he said, should be like paralyzed into doing anything because that's a possibility? That's a possibility that could happen. But what am I supposed to do? Just don't get involved because it's a possibility? The same with this guy. What is he going to do? Hide, go under the Danube River in a bunker, I don't know, across from the Parliament of Hungary in Budapest? Some people do that. But unfortunately, under the democratic system, you get weasels in charge. This is not a weasel. Peter Szijjártó is not a weasel. Neither is Viktor Orbán. But I know a lot of weasels, and that's good, because when you know a lot of weasels, you understand that there are some people of valor. Peter Szijjártó is one of them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Remember this, if you say, boo, 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 these guys start in on their territory right now. They will expand their business. They will, little by little. Now they're going to have the ammunition. They were going to have the weapons. Remember, and I'm not, juvenile. With that one, have you been around airports? Have you been around airports? Okay, then imagine an idiot staying around somewhere, the airport, with something like that. He can commit an atrocity just like this, with one of those. Doesn't have to be in the airport. It has to be, I don't know, 500 meters outside of the whatever surrounds the gates, the fences of the airport. Just imagine that. You have a Hoover Dam. Have you been to Hoover Dam? Have you seen how protected Hoover Dam is? And so on. And I'm not talking about juvenile. That's many other ways. But just saying, remember what these guys did with the Kerch Bridge? They put that on the truck and then exploded on the Kerch Bridge. It's just, they have the potential, these criminals. When they're going to start unleashing, that's going to be pointing at Russia. When you guys gave over there how much you wanted. Uncontrolled. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.